There was a time when the sky belonged to the eagles, when the clouds were sacred paths, and every gust of wind carried the prayers of the people. But the elders warned. One day the iron bird would rise. It would not sing. It would not breathe. It would bring fire. They said, when the iron birds cross the sky and drop fire upon the earth, the old world will die, and a new one will begin. And so it came to pass. The sky turned to steel, the rivers to blood, the cities to dust. The prophecy was never about machines. It was about us. We have become the iron birds, souls of metal, hearts of flame, flying higher, feeling less. But when the fire burns the earth clean, when the sky can take no more, will we remember the songs of creation? Or will the last sound on earth be the scream of wings made of iron? The Hopi warned us, and the time is now. Listen, there was a time when the earth breathed slowly, when mountains still whispered to the wind, and rivers sang the names of the stars. The Hopi elders say that before men flew, before steel wings tore the sky, there was peace between the four directions. The people walked gently, the corn grew tall, and the songs of creation were still remembered. But one night a shadow crossed the sacred fire. The elders saw it in vision, a dark form, vast and heavy, rising not from the clouds, but from the heart of man. They called it the iron bird. They said, when the iron birds cross the sky and drop fire upon the earth, the end of one world and the birth of another will begin. At first, they did not understand. How could a bird of metal live? How could it fly without feathers, or sing without breath? But the elders saw further than the eyes of flesh. They saw a time when the people would forget how to pray, when they would trade sacred smoke for smoke of engines, and the language of the wind for the noise of war. They saw great birds of steel, swarming like locusts, their bellies filled with fire, their shadows devouring the sun. The vision was clear. Flames falling from heaven, cities turning to dust, children running through ash, and the elders wept. For they knew the prophecy was not punishment, it was consequence. When the people forget the balance, the earth must teach them again. When man forgets gratitude, the sky will remind him with thunder. Every act of greed, every forgotten prayer, every river poisoned, every forest burned, becomes a wing of the iron bird. It does not fly by metal alone, but by the spirit of man's arrogance. The elders said, the iron bird will bring fire from above, and beneath it hearts will grow cold. And indeed, the fire came. First in the east, where dawn once rose in beauty, now clouded by smoke. Then in the west, where the red sun sank into oceans of flame. They saw the great war of nations. They saw the bombs like suns, rising from human hands. They saw shadows burned into stone. The iron bird had taken flight, and once it flew, it never stopped. From skies of Hiroshima to deserts of testing grounds, from the roar of bombers to the hum of drones, it circles still, looking for the last light of peace to extinguish. The Hopi knew this was not the end, but a turning, a crossing from the fourth world to the fifth, a purification by fire, where only the humble, the prayerful, and those in harmony with the earth would endure. They spoke of the great purification, a cleansing not by wrath, but by remembrance. For when man builds wings of iron, he forgets the wings of spirit. When he learns to fly without reverence, he falls without redemption. Yet the elders did not despair. They said, after the fire, the seeds will awaken, that from the ashes of the iron bird's shadow, a new people will rise, people of balance, of prayer, of humility. They will not fly in machines, but in dreams. They will not conquer, but heal. They will not burn the world, but bless it. These are the children of the fifth world. They are being born even now, among every tribe, every race, every nation, with eyes that remember the sky before it was broken. But before dawn comes, the night must finish its course. The Hopi warned that the iron bird would return again, in greater number, with greater fury, bearing not only fire, but deception. They said men would believe themselves as gods, creating life from metal and mind, breathing false breath into circuits, calling it wisdom. But the elders shook their heads. Only the Creator gives spirit, they said. All else is shadow. So the iron bird, though mighty, remains hollow. It cannot dream. It cannot weep. It cannot pray. But man, the maker of iron birds, still can. And that is the hope. That before the fire consumes the fields, man will remember the sacred songs. That before the smoke covers the stars, he will fall to his knees, not in defeat, but in awe. For the Hopi say, if prayers return to the four directions, if the corn is tended with gratitude, if water is blessed with song, the iron bird will rest, the sky will clear, the rivers will run pure again, and the earth mother will forgive. The prophecy is not about machines. It is about the heart. When man's heart becomes iron, his sky becomes iron too. When his breath burns with greed, the air itself catches fire. But when the heart softens, when he remembers the circle of life and the sacredness of all things, even iron can melt. Even the hardest sky can open. So the prophecy still speaks, not in thunder now, but in silence, in the hum of engines that never sleep, in the glowing screens that blind the stars, in the restless noise that hides the voice of spirit. The iron bird is not gone. It lives wherever there is forgetfulness. But so too does the promise of rebirth. For the Hopi said, when the iron bird tires, when its fire turns against itself, a new dawn will come. The earth will breathe again. And those who have kept their faith will walk into the fifth world with clean hearts. So, as you hear the roar of planes above, as you feel the trembling of engines beneath, remember the old words. The iron bird will cross the sky and drop fire upon the earth. But also remember the second part, the part too few recall. And after the fire, the people will awaken. Yes, out of the ashes, green shoots will rise. Out of silence, songs will return. Out of despair, the spirit will remember itself. And perhaps, just perhaps, man will learn again to fly not with iron, but with light. That is the Hopi way. That is the circle. That is the promise. May we walk in beauty once more. The prophecy has spoken. But remember, it was never meant to bring fear, only awakening. The iron bird is not just in the sky. It lives in every heart that forgets to feel, in every hand that builds without love. Yet within each of us also lies the power to heal, to choose humility over pride, peace over fire, and prayer over noise. The elders said, when man remembers the sacred, the earth will remember him. So let us walk softly once more. Let us bless the rivers, honor the winds, and listen again to the voice of creation, that still whispers beneath the roar of machines. May your path be guided by truth, your heart by compassion, and your spirit by light. The world can be reborn, beginning with you. Thank you for watching. If these words touched your soul, share them, so that the prayer may travel on wings not of iron, but of hope.